Lesson number 2 for January 11th, Wednesday. The Tithe Contract. There is a close spiritual connection between the practice of tithing and our relationship to God. The Israelites prospered when they obeyed God and were faithful in tithing. In contrast, they fell on hard times when they didn't. They seemed to follow a cycle of obedience and prosperity, and then disobedience and problems. It was during one of these periods of unfaithfulness that God, through the prophet Malachi, proposed a bilateral contract with his people. Malachi 3:7-11 says, "Even from the days of your fathers you are gone away from my ordinances, and have not kept them. Return to me, and I will return to you, saith the Lord of hosts. But you said, Wherein shall we return? Will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me. But you say, Wherein have we robbed you? In tithes and offerings. You are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me, even this whole nation. Bring you all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house, and prove me. Now, herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven, and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field, says the Lord of hosts." What are the promises and the obligations found in these verses? God promised the people that if they would return to him, he would return to them. When they asked what he meant by returning to him, he explicitly said, "Stop robbing me of tithe and offerings." Their robbery was the reason they were being cursed. Here is God's solution to the problem of the curse. Malachi 3:10, "Bring all the tithes, the whole tithe, into the storehouse. And if you do this, then I will open for you the windows of heaven and pour out for you such blessing that there will not be room enough to receive it." If we don't have room enough to receive it, we have a surplus with which we can help others and help to advance the cause of God. From the book Counsels on Stewardship, page 75, it says, "He who gave his only begotten Son to die for you has made a covenant with you. He gives you his blessings, and in return he requires you to bring him your tithes and offerings." No one will ever dare to say that there was no way in which he could understand in regard to this matter. God's plan regarding tithes and offerings is definitely stated in the 3rd chapter of Malachi. God calls upon his human agents to be true to the contract he has made with them. One of the positive cycles of obedience is recorded during the reign of good King Hezekiah of Judah. There was a genuine revival in Judah, and the people started faithfully returning their tithes and offerings to the temple storehouse. So much came in that it was piled in heaps at the temple. See 2nd Book of Chronicles 31:5, where it tells what happened when the people brought in abundance, the first fruits of grain and wine, oil and honey, and of all the produce of the fields. And they brought in abundantly the tithe of everything. What does your tithing, or lack thereof, say about your own spirituality and relationship with God? From the book the Acts of the Apostles, page 338 and 339, it says, "He whose heart is aglow with the love of Christ will regard it as not only a duty, but a pleasure, to aid in the advancement of the highest, holiest work committed to man, the work of presenting to the world the riches of goodness, mercy, and truth." It is the spirit of covetousness which leads men to keep for gratification of self means that rightfully belong to God, and this spirit is as abhorrent to him now as when through his prophet he sternly rebuked his people, saying, "Will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, Wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. You are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation." Malachi 3:8-9. And from Testimonies for the Church, Volume 3, page 388 and 389, it says, "God's plan in tithing is beautiful in its simplicity and equality. All may take hold of this system in faith and courage, for it is divine in its origin. In it are combined simplicity and utility, and it does not require depth of learning to understand and execute it. All may feel that they can act a part in carrying forward the precious work of salvation. Every man, woman, and youth may become a treasurer for the Lord, and may be an agent to meet the demands upon the treasury. Says the apostle, "Let every one of you lay by him in store, as God hath prospered him." Have a blessed day.